Hello, and welcome to Final Fantasy XIV. Again, wow. It's a video game that I stream a lot. Also, it's my birthday, but this is just a normal stream. I know that when I say it's gonna be a completely normal stream, sometimes that's a lie and a joke. This is a normal stream. For real. I'm not going to suddenly become an octoling or something again. It's just normal. Well, I mean, it's mostly normal. Sucro's doing some sort of very strange space-time magic with this panda, but other than that, it's normal. The panda is here for pandaemonium, which is later. But yeah, also, I think just for now there's not going to be captions on the stream. Hopefully that's not a major problem. The bottom of the screen feels a little empty without them, but they weren't working, so... And I don't know an alternative to try, so who knows? All that said, first on our agenda today is I've been doing the loporrit and omicron quests, and I've got the quest to advance them further. So we're gonna be checking in on these funny moon rabbits and the funny robots. What's up, Dreamingway? The incredible machines. It's comedy hour already. Our musicking station is a rousing success. I must admit that I understand less than half of what Coiningway says about the circulation of carrots, but they seem rather pleased with the shopping station's results as well. I do wish we had more dreams on offer, however. This cannot possibly be enough to satisfy every loporrit's needs. Dreams, passion, ingenuity. I believe I know a loporrit who can help. A loporrit with a vision, nay, a dream? Just so, she adores fixing all manner of things, whether they need it or not. You may have some difficulty convincing her to set up a station here, however. Surely we can convince her if we try. What's her name? Repairingway. She's been rather fixated on the machines in Greatest Innsvale of late, so I shouldn't be surprised to find her there. In that case, let us sally forth forthwith. And by us, I of course mean you and me, Sucro. We require your powers of persuasion as a person of Aetheris. Nod. It seems like there's just occasional non-binary individuals in, like, most of the tribes. I still feel like tribes isn't a good name for them to have, but that's what they have, so, you know. I feel like it might be slightly cynical to say, but I guess that's because the models for all of them are mostly identical, so they can just do whatever they want with the devs can just give them any gender and any pronouns. I mean, the devs could just give anyone any pronouns if they wanted to, but they haven't been. I don't think there's a non-binary, like, player character model character in the game anyway. Oh, that is one dilapidated supporter. We must have found the right loporrit. Pardon me, are you Repairingway? That I am, and you are? I'm Dreamingway, and this is the illustrious Sucro. We're here to invite you to join a project of utmost import. Oh, and what would that be? Explaining. By the way, one of the things that you do for the loporrits is make Sucro souvenirs. Well, I mean, Warrior of Light souvenirs. In my case, Sucro souvenirs. which is fun. Yes, I can see why that problem sorely needs fixing. I can't reach half the mechanisms in Bestway's burrow for melancholy loporrits draping themselves about. There's too many sad bunnies everywhere and they're in the way of the machines, apparently. Even so, my paws are quite full, I'm afraid. Should I be derelict in my repair duties, we'll be even shorter on supporters than we already are. Or the moon will go flying off into the great expanse, and then where would we be? Good point. I should hate to inconvenience everyone by hurling us out into the cosmos. I can recommend someone with similar talents, however. His name is Inventingway, and he's quite mechanically inclined. And you think he'd be willing to assist? Oh my, yes. He's often been more than happy to help in the past. I would call upon him more often, in fact, if only his repairs weren't so experimental. In any case, you only need say that your project will allow him to work with machines, and he'll doubtless agree without any further consideration. I'm certain he'd be happier experimenting freely in your workshop than operating within the confines of practicality out here. Why, just the other day, I asked him to repair one of our carrot creation stations, and next I knew, that thing had sprouted limbs and was dancing about to improve sprinkler efficacy. He certainly sounds like my kind of loporrit. Do you know where we might find him now? To the north of here, perhaps? I've noticed he enjoys gazing out upon the machinery while he considers his next harebrained schematic. Thank you ever so much for your assistance. Oh, and best of luck with the repairs. I think it's funny that they used the word harebrained. I do hope Inventingway finds his place with you. He means well, I'm relatively certain. Relatively? Should I be concerned? I want to know more about the evil loporrit, also. Oh, what's this? An enemy I must defeat. You know, I should have waited till I had MP. Maybe. I'm still trying to get White Mage to... I need to kill 3 of these. To 90. I'm also leveling up Astrologian now, and I actually really like it so far. I mean, I mentioned I'm leveling it up. I don't know if I mentioned I liked it. Just one more. Astrologian is going to get a rework. I know that's in the cards, as they say. I mean, you know, but I don't know exactly what that's going to entail. Clearly, if I become an Astrologian main, I will finally understand people who have their mains reworked just in time. And see how I feel about it. It'll be an interesting experiment. I don't know if I'm going to be an Astrologian main. Humming detected. I now wish dearly to build good relationships with the people of Etheria specifically, says Aimingway. It's come to my attention that there's some weird stuff on other stars. Well, maybe. What's up, Inventing Way? A potential client? Be calm, Inventing Way. Temper your enthusiasm. Temper it. Oh dear. Comedy music again. Well met. Are you Inventing Way? Who's asking? That is to say, how may I help you? Repairing Way told us you might be willing to join us in Hopper's Hold. You see... Sweet Mother Heidelin, I thought you were here with a repair job, but you're saying I can make any machine I dream up? Essentially, yeah. Or yes. Anything I can dream of, huh? This is the greatest day of my life! That is to say, I'd be delighted to join you. I enjoy working on machines a normal amount. It was I who invented the supporters, in fact. Granted, I didn't anticipate that your people would turn out to be so small, which inevitably resulted in the supporters identifying them as unauthorized organisms and initializing their murderous rampage sequences, but I wanted to fix that. If I'd been given the chance, I know I could have. Project management, though, wanted to go another way. Repairing Ways offered a few odd jobs to keep me occupied while I looked for a new role, but I think my innovative take on carrot cultivation may have been the last straw. Which is why I'm truly grateful for a position where I can be myself. How can I possibly thank you? Dreaming Way. And no thanks necessary. I only hope you'll do your best to share your dream with our fellow loporrits. You bet I will. I'll share like no one has ever shared before, and then they'll see. They'll all see! That is to say, I look forward to working with you. I have a number of large projects in mind, so I may bring along a few friends with time on their paws, and... nod. No! Wherever am I going to find a pneumatic saw? All my best tools were reappropriated when I was dismissed from my position. Why don't you come back to the Dreaming Workshop and discuss it with Managing Way? They have a way of finding what we need. Oh, Managing Way is the non-binary one. I wasn't catching which one you were referring to. That's good, because I need a great many things. We'll be setting up a whole new station, so please come and find us in Hopper's Hold when you have a chance. Coining Way is also non-binary? Neat. Non-binary. I'm already glad I decided to check up on the advancement quests on camera, because we get to meet all of these silly rabbits. Bugger me, and I always thought this was a closet. Well, it was a second ago. Well, a few days ago. Welcome back. As expected, Managing Ways turned Inventing Ways request into a tidy and particular list.
Non-binary, lesbnui, arabimatic, gay but bunny.
I see. Some of those work more than others. Managing Way turned Inventing Ways request into a tidy and particular list, then hopped off to oversee their procurement. They did mention something that they would like you to prepare. What was it again? Ah, yes, ahem. Insulation suitable for preventing any unwanted shocks or conflagrations. That seems simple enough, doesn't it? They even provided the necessary materials. If you run out, of course, feel free to ask the Dreaming supporter for more. Set of machining supplies. Here I go. It's comedically simple to synthesize something if you don't care about the quality at all. I do hope you enjoyed crafting those items. If you're satisfied with what you've made, I can take them off your paws. These handcrafted items, provided in bulk, will hopefully result in the creation of inventive machines without any loporrits being harmed in the process. Hopefully. Good heavens, such fine quality! You mean 0 quality out of however many? Have you ever thought about changing your name to Crafting Way? I'll leave you to think about that while I get Inventing Way set up. No doubt he's itching to astound us with his creations. Alright, Inventing Way, what are you going to invent? Oh. More different robots. Oh, I'm astounded! Also confounded, but mostly astounded. Rest assured that this was merely the warm-up before the sprint. Ah, my mind races with ideas. I like these robots, though. They most certainly are unique. I dare say even I would struggle to find a use for most of these. But as we never specified you do aught but live your dream, I suppose it's only fair to rate your performance above average. And here they come, my disciples! Gaze upon these machines and let the inspiration flow through you. Welcome to the Dreaming Workshop. If anyone would like to try their paw at the dreams we have on display, please do inquire about our free trials. They even include Stormblood now. The bunnies are gazing. We've installed a room where a bunny can go and look at a robot. Very good room. Hmm? Ah, there you are. And now, useless machines, is it not enough that we have no use ourselves? I can use this ironic display to demonstrate the depths of our irrelevance. My petition to reactivate the hibernation stations may at last be approved. Struggle to your heart's content, my friends. Show us the meaning of futility. Why don't you just go to bed instead? Who was that? Living Way is also here. Someone who's not interested in the machining station, it seems, but we have plenty of loporrits who are, and that's what matters. If we continue to draw such enthusiastic crowds to each station we build, everyone will have their own dream in no time. Nod. Nod. The Dreaming Workshop is now home to a brand new machining station and many technological wonders besides. There's much yet to be done. However, if each loporrit is to find new purpose, continue expanding the workshop to see what dreams may come. Oh, thank you for the happy birthday. Thank you both. The number that is my age is higher than it was before. I feel like I am old. But that's fine, I guess. I am trusted by the rabbits. Inventing Way has been given the uniform. Magnificent, are they not? That is to say, I hope you enjoy your visit to the machining station. This rabbit's doing the show right emote without the sparkles. I present this! It's very this. It is very this. Looks like a cheese grater. A weaponized cheese grater. Oh, who are you, Keeping Way? Rest assured that the ingredients and materials entrusted to me for safekeeping are kept safe as you please. How safe do you please, by the by? There's also Fixing Way. Do you think they will ever remove gear repair from the game? I wonder. Now, I could do more of this now, but I won't. Oh, Riding Way. Well, that means there's now quests that will involve me using the funny robot. Inventing Way has truly surpassed himself with this moonhopper. Even I cannot say what some of those buttons do. Anyway, next up, we check in on the robots. As my panda goes through my hat. It's fine though. I've already used 45 Aetheryte tickets in like the last day. All right. Time for sadness via music. I always get turned around and forget where the research portal is. Somehow. I have 3 allowances today, so I could end up desyncing the levels of the omicrons and the loporrits, which might be better, like as just an opening of a stream that does not do both of them. I don't know. Shrug. What's up? Longing so for all the fish. We're doing more Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy jokes. Oh, also those are the fish. Yeah. This unit is pleased to inform you that culinary ingredient supply has stabilized, and relations with reconstructed Corellians are rated as friendly. The Grebulons. Is that really their name? That sounds like a Homestar Runner. That's because there's Nebulon in Homestar Runner. Nobody likes Nebulon's style. As conditions for proceeding with the next phase of operations are optimal, this unit has taken the liberty of ordering additional customers. Patron 003 and Patron 004 are being transported to the last dregs even as we exchange communication signals. I forget what my jamming way voice is. What sort of patrons has Stigma 4 reconstructed for us this time, I wonder? We may as well see for ourselves. Something like that, probably. One of my random go-to voices that I have for some reason. The cafe has a pleasant ambience about it these days, wouldn't you say, Sucro? The Corellians aren't even shouting at each other. Where are our new customers? Patrons were seated according to Table with a View protocol and served in accordance with Salad protocol, which have produced a satisfaction rate of 124% among customers to date. Excellent work, unit. 'Tis always better to speak with customers after they've been fed. But they might not like salad. How do we know? Oh, they're Grebulov, not Grebulon. Close, though. These patrons are of the Grebulov race, known for its metallurgy. Records indicate that this civilization originated amidst the shining blue seas of its home planet, later adapting to life on its landmasses. Thus, the Grebulov diet includes both fish and plant matter. Sob, sniffle. Sigh. Oh dear, is the salad not to your liking? The organic lifeform's preferences confound this unit's logic circuits. Please provide additional data. Oh, I hope you won't take this personally. It's a perfectly lovely salad, only... Oh, I miss home so much. Oh no. I see. The salad brings back painful memories. Could we get you something else, perhaps? Namazu footstep sound. All of our friends are dead! Ah! You know, understandable reaction to all of this, truthfully. Oh, wait, how about a cup of tea? What are we going to do? We made our customers cry! Cry! We need to catch them before they can escape through the portal to another Ostracon. We can't cheer them up quickly. Their woe will plunge this whole place into despair. It is really cool, yeah, I agree. If I were a reconstructed being from a dead planet, I would probably also be like, everybody is dead. Wow, that's kind of not great for me. Hugger, where did they go? Audio input registers no whimpering in this vicinity. This unit can only conclude that Patron 003 and Patron 004 have utilized the portal to teleport to base Omicron. Curse their advanced technological comprehension born of generations of metalworking innovation. Fear not, anxiety-prone lifeform. The base Omicron perimeter is perpetually monitored by patrol units. This unit will transmit recorded data of customer service interactions to aid in detection of rogue patrons. Well then, what are you waiting for? I'm also an anxiety-prone lifeform, so I get it. If you count ghosts as lifeforms, I guess. Fugitive Grebulov data downloaded. Initializing pattern matching sequence. Sighting confirmed. Last known location, territory between base Omicron and Clouded Portal. Target lifeforms were deemed annoying, but non-threatening, warranting no interaction. Harsh. Fugitive identification data has been transmitted to all patrol units. This unit will review base Omicron security recordings while you gather testimonial evidence. I suppose we should be thankful it isn't a rogue Omicron we're after. Needle in a haystack, that would be. I mean, that's happened before. We managed to solve that. Idling unit. Anomalous data detected in Clouded Portal transmission record. Time goes suggests these unregistered lifeforms may be the Grebulovs you are looking for. Camera recordings confirm that Patron 003 ran screaming through base Omicron, followed closely by Patron 004. Hello, welcome. Thank you for the happy birthday. Did any patrol units provide additional data? Then there is a high probability that the Clouded Portal was the customer's point of egress. How do their little legs run so fast? Asking for a friend. At any rate, the portal that leads to that portal leads to Ostracron Tria. Let us make for the abode of the Ia. At the least, there may be more eyewitnesses. Some of the quests for... Oh. Well, sure. Why not? That was incorrect. That's what I meant to press.
I skipped the transformation. I did a transformation sequence cancel by dabbing. Or something. Some of the shenanigans encountered within these quests involve trying to spread word of the cafe, and trying to spread word of the cafe to the IA has them go like, I don't understand food. It's a waste of time when you're trying to regain a physical form to die. And also there's dragons that you can try to spread the word to, and they also hate it. Sarcastic IA. They cannot have gotten much farther. To search for those long lost, I too have known this need, or have I? Or this IA unit.
The rogue customers may be somewhere nearby. I keep forgetting the quack that I installed in that button. All of these guys are in fact still depressed so far. If it is indeed the well-armored beings you speak of, they entered our abode crying for water. Incidentally, their crying produced water as well, which one must assume is why they were carrying on so. Regardless, we told them of the wellspring of regret. Perhaps it brings them spiritual comfort, as we once found in our holy places. Or perhaps they continue to weep even now. This unit would not venture to theorize. However, projections do indicate that once the Grebulovs locate a water source, they will entrench there. Despite their sophistication, their nature subjects them to certain base instincts. They'd stayed for tea. They must be awfully dehydrated by now. Come on. There is something kind of funny about this, like, very dramatic endgame zone being a place where we're running around, like, recruiting people to go to a cafe. Weh. Allied units must remain alert to fluctuations in dynamis, engaging spatiotemporal monitoring. At last! Fathomless deep, you followed us all the way out here? It is our responsibility as cafe managers, though we underestimated your determination and lung capacity, I must admit. Oh, the EXP bonus? Sometimes fates just have those. It's, I think it's basically random. Fates in earlier areas don't have that, though, I don't think. Do you feel better now that you've seen the water? Query, is the imbecilic life form malfunctioning? This unit lacks many of the traits shared by organic races, but even so, the visual data could not be more conclusive. I shan't dignify that with a response, but how do you feel? So, bad then. Yes, bad. We finally escaped those pointy, terrible machines only to find this. We can't dive in this miserable little puddle. It's barely suitable for dipping. I don't want to be in this strange land. I want to go home, but we've lost so much. Did we finally lose our ocean too? Oh no. I'm not certain I understand. Are oceans truly that superior to lakes? Our seas on the moon don't even have water most of the time. Sucro explaining. Like an old Charlian, big and blue with a horizon all its own. This unit has never seen such a thing. Omicron protocol is to evaporate significant water sources that may be of use to the enemy before landing. You just, like, delete oceans? What the heck? I was talking about a Homestar Runner earlier, because Grebulov sounds kind of like Nebulon, but now they're also blowing up the ocean like blue laser. There are no oceans in Ultima Thule, that's for certain. Even so, there must be something here that brings back pleasant memories of the sea rather than depressing ones. You would know, Sucro. What's unique about the ocean aside from all the water? The beach has a sort of smell. The salty sea breeze. Given that Sucro is from Vilbrand, I think this would actually be an actual thing she would say. Well, there's a salty sea breeze. You can sort of smell something on the air. In that case, perhaps we can harness the scent you recall to evoke memories of relaxing days at the shore. We are assuming that their ocean has a similar scent, I suppose. This unit acknowledges the potential of this course of action. Comparison of data from the dead ends and records on the Ragnarok shows significant similarities between the chemical compositions of the oceans of Aetheris and the Grebulov star. Well, thanks for clearing that up. Smell it is! Once Sucro snips out a sufficiently ocean-scented ingredient, we'll sprinkle it on a delicious dish to raise our customers' spirits. Isolating odoriferous compounds and querying database. Bing. Chemical match found. Constituent amino acids of the legumes located at approximate coordinates 13, 14, 2 will be useful in simulating the smell of your oceans. Similar amino acids are present in dragon scales, however, these are not so easily digested. Surely we can find some manner of dish to cook with that, perhaps a soup. This unit suggests worrying about that after allied units reconvene at the last dregs. In the meanwhile, protocol requires that management gently prod the customers until they regain their faculties. Nod. Hello and welcome. All of these quests so far feel like they pertain more to botany than they do mining. Or fishing, I guess. Would mining be like getting salt here and fishing would be just getting fish? I'm guessing the dialogue might be different depending on what your job is. Actually. Dragon's eye beans, replete with amino acids, these legumes smell of the sea and perhaps slightly of eyeball. Rika is doing this at the same time and is a miner. And is digging for stuff. Evidently. I'm assuming you can also do this as a fisher? Sometimes fishing is separated from the other gathering jobs a little bit. Rika specifically had to find star sea salt from a beach that is no longer a beach on a star that is no longer a star. So now we know. Where'd the beans go? There's the beans. It's cool to get this bonus extra perspective as to what is going on from the mining point of view. I'm sorry, you're all so kind. I could go for a spot of dinner after so much sprinting. What do you have in mind? I do recall a distinct odor near the last stand in Old Charlian. Was that the ocean? Possibly. Customer vital signs stabilized. Social acceptability of issuing dinner invitations restored to 100%. Oh! Funny robot carrying a tray. That's funny. Here's some beans. Ingredients confirmed. Loading recipe. Huzzah! It's time to get cooking! Space soup. Some sort of bisque, perhaps? This salty, tangy, vaguely fishy aroma. How bittersweet it is. Sound of soup. Soup.wave. Oh! Astounding! It tastes just like the tide! Oh, they're funny little, like, otters or something. Under the masks. Look at them. Look at this guy! Look at this creature. What a good individual. Nod. An invigorating flavor, as if I waded in and accidentally swallowed a lungful. Is that good? Ah, such fond memories, even if they do sting a bit. Nod. We had many, many a good day thanks to our beautiful sea. If we could go back to those times, I would treasure the blessings it gave us. I would keep it safe from harm. I would receive a dial-up connection phone call or something. Incoming transmission from Stigma 4. Cosmic duet? Yeah, kinda. Also, yeah, I did notice the Namazu animations. Observational units report rapid changes to Elysion's landscape. All signs point to Grebulov influence. Really? Well, this bears seeing for ourselves. They also make the Namazu footstep sound. Oh, Elysion's gonna be even more pretty now. I think if I do desync the Omicron and the Loporrit quest a bit by having 3 extra points today, I will probably prioritize the Omicron one slightly more because this is really interesting to me. This unit fears for the cardiovascular system of the excitable life form and recommends not keeping it in suspense any longer. Wait. Hurry, hurry, the Grabulovs have already gone! They're so happy. Oh! Aww. It's like the parts that were destroyed by the plague, except not destroyed by the plague. Oh, I love them. Oh, buried in the sand. I love them all. From their profound love and appreciation, the Grebulov's ocean has been reborn. It will make a fine home for myriad aquatic creatures. They've remembered colors other than red? What do you mean? There's yet much room for Elysion to grow and change. What other hopes will the power of Dynamis bring to life? Was there a lot more red in the destroyed version? No, I want to go back and look at that. Maybe a bit smaller than the real thing, but it certainly smelled like an ocean to me. Did you see the happy looks on the Grebulov's helmeted little faces? This unit did see and appreciates allied units' assistance in fulfilling this objective. We have land, we have sea. One does wonder what could possibly come next, not to mention what menu items it'll inspire. More importantly, this mission is evolving. Analysis of statements made by the Grebulovs, as well as their overall demeanor, indicates that their memories originated just prior to their star's ultimate demise. Oh yeah, the plague one was very red. That sounds correct. Once reconstructed, the individuals initially remained in a state of deep despair over what had befallen their world, and its seas in particular. via Operation Soup, however. Sucro, I am at Soup. I am at the soup store. However, cafe management restored to them their will to carry on. These events have caused this unit to reevaluate the significance of the current mission. Mission significance and satisfaction with current orders are now rated as high. Yet this unit has unresolved queries. Metaphysically, this unit and other life forms in Ultima Thule are not but simulations, memories reconstructed with Dynamis. Regardless of our actions, can these lives truly be categorized as meaningful? Well, you're also that, so, you know. And also, I'd say yeah. Not to cut your existential crisis short, Bolthead, but do we not have data proving that you're as metaphysically significant as anyone else? Our customers affected the dynamis of Elysian, and that's a fact. That's a good point also. You lot may be a little different, but your feelings, your hopes, your dreams, those are real. So let's get out there and serve up some smiles, eh? We can't do it without you. Nod. Affirmative. Thank you, Jammingway. Gasp. Nod. Loporrit gesture of joy. You sense a level 90 unspoiled less you know, the lush vegetation. But I don't care. That was you're right. That was the first time of that. I have to go look at this place. Look at them. These ones smell funny. Here, sniff. Freedom fighter just going, look at them. Behold them. Delightful. What's in the vegetation patches around here? Just crystals because we don't have a quest for that. That makes sense. Have a dip! Yay! Swimming. That one's floating on there. Wait, there's a floating on your back emote that I never use because I always just forget that it exists. I think. Where is it? There's a few water emotes, I think. There's water flip. Oh, you have to be underwater for that one, probably. Is there a floating on your back emote? It's easy to lose track of emotes that exist. It's probably in special, actually. Yeah, there it is. Water float. Sucro, relax. Sucro is having a nice time now. Speaking of other things that happen in water, you can do this too if you have Play Dead, which is worrisome, potentially. Except Sucro can breathe in water, so it's actually not that worrisome. Whoop. A little worrisome, yes. But at least she can breathe. I'm gonna collect the prettiest shells in the whole universe. They're adorable. Everything about the Grebulophs is adorable, except for the part where they died of plague. But now they're better. Where's the one that was being buried in the sand? Oh, there's more over here. Ah. What a pleasant scene. Yeah, it feels like they put a lot of effort into this questline. They're fishing. So many snacks ripe for the fishing. There still isn't the ones that's being buried in the sand though, so where's that one at? Maybe that was cutscene specific activity. I am really excited to see more of the Omicron stuff happen. Very glad I leveled up gathering and such. There's also a pond here. Presumably because as a fisher, you would need somewhere to fish. Okay, so now that we've done the Omicron stuff and the loporrits stuff, that means that next on the list is in fact the pandaemonium raids, which I will be doing as a sage again. Because it's, of the healers I have at 90, I think it's my favorite one. And I want to heal more. I'm in a healing mood lately, whatever that means. I've pivoted back to healer, maybe. But first, I will be right back. And that also means I will flip a coin. However, we're going to not use the Google coin flip this time, because it's lands on tails 90% of the time for some reason. Randomly flip coin. Okay.
To the stars. Now in succession. You got wrecked because you're weak. A short vacation.
Destroy!
Wait, did nobody win? Hello. I am here again. Oh no. Congratulations to those who won, if anybody won. I didn't see the results. So, actually, I remembered. One thing before Pandaemonium is I just want to show my Astrologian glamour that I made. Because I think it's good. It's got some sort of Toho energy to it. Also, I like this giant hat. Even though it has ear pockets, and I prefer Sucro's ears to not be pocketed, I like the giant hat. I also realized that the Scarecrow status effect from Mario RPG also has giant hat. So it is fitting, perhaps, for Sucro Funk to be wearing one. Anyway, Astrologian is only level 56. I don't know if this is appropriate attire for Pandaemonium, but I guess we'll find out. So, I've been told it should be fine, or like it should be correct. Yeah. So let's see. The quest that begins Pandaemonium is the Crystal from Beyond, which I believe is directly next to the Baldessian Annex. It's this one, I think. Yes, indeed. Nemjiji nods at you as if she was expecting your arrival. Hey, it appears my calculations are correct. I knew that at this very spot I would encounter none other than Sucro, the hero who saw us through the final days. So certain was I of my math that I stood here for...
Bamboo Pandemonium.
True. That I stood here for, well, let's not concern ourselves with that. I am Nemgigi, assistant to one Professor Claudian. We work with the Itioscope to observe the ethereal sea and delve into its myriad mysteries. Some mysteries, though, are beyond even our capabilities to unravel. The strange crystal we but recently discovered, for instance, defies our every conjecture. You've been to the center of the star and far beyond it, however, so we hope that you may see something in this crystal that we academics do not. I beg you lend your well-traveled eye at Aporia. Professor Claudian will be eagerly awaiting your arrival. Curtsy. Can't believe I only have 13 Etherite tickets left when I bought 60, like, yesterday or something. It really did not occur to me how many times you teleport in this game, or how much money that costs if you don't have the tickets. As I live and breathe, it really is you! I assume Najiji was simply attempting to pull one over on me, as it were. Perhaps I should pay more heed to her wild claims. Welcome, welcome. We appreciate any insight you can provide on the matter of this crystal. Professor Claudian will share the particulars with you. So this is to be our cast of characters, or part of it. Oh no! Yeah, this one partially because I flipped the coin on a different website, and also, admittedly, when I went to the website the first time, it landed on tails again because it did an auto flip. But once I actually clicked flip the coin, it landed on heads. I was like, I don't want it to be tails again after going through the trouble. But if it had landed on tails twice in a row, I guess I probably would have. Anyway. Greetings, Sucro, and welcome to my humble laboratory. I am sure Nimgigi has already told you plenty about us. He actually hasn't told me anything, but allow me to introduce myself personally. I am Claudian, leader of this little research collective. I must admit, I've been nervous about this meeting ever since Nemgigi set out to find you. For a researcher in my field, there's no greater an honor than to meet the first woman in history to traverse the ethereal sea and return to tell the tale. Hey, what about my party members, though? Also, Ystola's been, like, dead and then not dead, like, twice. Anyway. The professor speaks often and at length of your deeds, but he has no small number of achievements to his own name. He's peered deeper into the ethereal sea than any other in Charlian, and the breadth of his knowledge is peerless. Peerless, perhaps, but for a single woman. We must seize this precious opportunity to learn what we can from her, and perhaps crack this conundrum that has stumped the three of us for moons. Nod. Also, I like their uniforms. It was we who peered into the fathomless sea from the Antitower in the Dravadian hinterlands. There we spoke with Hydaelyn and learned of the fate that would befall this star. The final days. So these are the people who actually found that originally. Interesting. Soon thereafter, all research was moved to Labyrinthos, and through the Itioscope, we continue our vigil. As impressive as a work as the device is, however, it can glimpse but a fraction of the sea's infinite depths. Every time they say Itioscope, I think IKEA-scope, which is what you use to locate the specific kind of, like, shelving unit that you're trying to find in the maze of furniture, presumably. I've heard IKEAs are maze-like. Which brings us to the matter at hand. Not long after the Exodus was declared, we recovered an unusual crystal shard during a routine observation. It appeared before us suddenly, as if propelled to the surface by some unknown force. They meant that symbolically. You know, I guess that was a long time ago, actually, so it's probably not literally these three that saw. Anyway. Wait, what did you just say? Hold on. Unusual crystal shard immediately mysteriously propelled. Got it. We found that it possessed an ethereal density that exceeds that of normal crystals by orders of magnitude. and its shape resembles nothing which occurs in the natural world. It was made, not formed. Unfortunately, that was the extent of the information we could glean before we were forced to turn our focus towards the Exodus. The crystal was very nearly forgotten amidst the sudden upheaval. But thanks to the efforts of a certain someone, that crisis is now behind us, and we're free to resume our research. Thus did we decide to seek you out, the dauntless adventurer who delved into the unknown and beheld its innermost secrets. And now we'd have you see for yourself. Is it gonna be like one of the, It's gonna be a crystal of similar structure to like Azim's crystal and whatnot. It's gonna be one of the, you know, one of the 13's crystals or something. I don't remember if there's a specific name for those. If it resembles aught you've encountered before, even by the smallest degree, please say so. Sucro, look. Sucro, gasp. Hey, it is. I knew it. Of course it's this. A memory crystal is, I guess, a thing that they're called. Memory abides within this crystal, or I know of someone who bears a similar crystal. This is a special crystal with memory in it. As I thought, you do know what this is. Please tell me everything. Nod. I like the cool camera pan that goes behind a pillar and then everyone changes poses and stuff, and the passing of time is indicated. I see. The Asians use these to transfer their memories to new vessels. Fascinating indeed. It was plain that this crystal was special somehow, but this revelation surpasses even my considerable expectations. Similar artifacts have appeared throughout the ages. Memories of martial techniques manifested as crystalline shards on the battlefield, or storied stones passed from master to student. A comparison between said artifacts and this crystal may prove a fruitful first step in unveiling its true nature. What do you think, Professor? Asian memories, windows through which we can gaze upon the convocation of 14. Unlike the crystal in Sucro's story, this one does not bear the mark of the convocation. Who then could these memories belong to? And more importantly, why were they stored in this particular shard? More importantly still, why was it set adrift on the ethereal sea? Lost in thought, I see. This happens often, is what I assume. Professor! Professor! Claudian! Yes? I'm well aware that contemplation is the key to breakthrough, but there is propriety to consider. We have a guest, one you invited explicitly. Must we do this every time? What? Yes, of course, our guest. Terribly sorry. I do so easily find myself unmoored by the tides of rumination. It's fine, I get it. Perhaps a more engaging use of your time with us would be for you to take up that crystal. If indeed there are memories stored within, they may reveal themselves to you upon contact. Nod. Sucro also totally gets lost in thought sometimes, so she probably understands. I'm holding the crystal. It's shiny now. If anyone, message. Come, pandaemonium. Please. Faces. Grave threat. Star in danger. Gasp. That expression does not bode well. What did you see? Nod. Apparently there's some great danger in a place called Pandaemonium. Pandaemonium is not a word I've heard before. My knowledge of the ancient tongue serves me. It means all demons. Oops. All demons. Not a name that inspires optimism, all things considered. I put the crystal back. In the event that another star-shattering cataclysm is in fact bearing down upon us, I would have the aforementioned examples of crystallized memory to hand. Nemjiji, Rusana, I entrust their procurement to you. If there are more memories to be extracted from this crystal, we will find them. Nod. As for you, Sucro, there is a person I'd have you seek, the one who's delivered so dire a warning. Your story tells us that this crystal could very well have been made by one of the ancients. If that is the case, then discerning the nature of this pandaemonium would require a trip far into the past, to an era before the Sundering. Well, yeah, they just said pandaemonium means all demons, so I immediately thought, oops, all demons. I know of only one individual capable of such a feat, the very hero who traversed time to prevent the world's doom. Nod. I must confess, the tales people tell of your adventures beggar belief, and the veracity has been a subject of much debate among my peers. After today's meeting, however, there can be no doubt in my mind that every incredible exploit is fact. So I ask you now, return to the past, find out what and where pandaemonium is, and if we need to be concerned by this message. Determined. Thank you. For the time being, you should keep the crystal in your possession. I do not think you've seen the last of its memories, and more may be drawn out as you approach their source. Safe travels, and may we meet again soon to share our findings. Also, I should state for the record, I know absolutely nothing about... Oh, hey! Derailed immediately by Alpha and Omega just happening to be here by chance. Hello, friends. They wander around more places now. They did say they'd do that. Anyway, here's what I know about pandaemonium. Basically absolutely nothing other than the name and that there's purple in it. I can be relatively certain that purple is a predominant color in the color scheme of pandaemonium. Or at least one section of it. That's it. That's all I know. I know nothing about how long it will take, or how difficult it may be, so I don't know how much of it we will cover today. Oh, really? You skipped all the cutscenes and stuff? Any particular reason you were motivated to do so? Pray journey to the past and ascertain the severity of the threat. Keep the crystal for now, until we find a way to listen to its messages. It will do more good in your hands than ours. From this moment on, our objective shall be to fill every cranny of this place with crystals. Surely the gleaners won't mind braving a few haunted battlefields for the right price. Pandaemonium is the name of an FF2 dungeon. Oh, okay. But Professor Claudian, I would burn the candle on both ends, or rather I will. First I must find the historical documents that he requested, and then... what was I meant to do again? Ah, we must go to the ocular for this. Oh yeah. By the way, sheep quest. Because I have custom delivery available now, there's just a sheep with the quest until I pick that up. I will talk to that sheep eventually. I'm doing the custom deliveries 2 at a time, basically, because of the limit that you have on them. And I've only just started them, so I'm on Zloe and Monago in terms of who I'm delivering to. howdy, I need to use your time machine that you don't know you have. Hope you don't mind. You don't know you have a time machine, do you? Well, anyway. Don't know why I need to make a big deal out of it this time, but... could just teleport there. If receives this message. No, not the tycoon, the other time machine. I forgot about that one. Come, Pandaemonium, quickly! I think it'd be really funny if Sucro rocked really slowly towards this and just like bonked against the wall. I just made a cartoon bonk sound effect. Like, dunk. Apparently, we got some other sort of cartoon impact sound effect. Did Sucro just teleport to Gmod for like a split second? Yes. Ah. Those were totally like adjacent to Gmod impact sounds. Now I'm just thinking about Sucro ragdolling downstairs. Oh, did I like teleport into you? Howdy. Could it be? Hello, Elidibus, probably. No, of course not. Apologies, but for the briefest moment I thought you to be a dear friend of mine. I've realized now that such a notion is preposterous. She told me a falling star would appear before me, and I suppose you must be it. Truth be told, I did not expect the expression to be so literal. I'm more of a cat than a star, really, but I think Sucro sort of recognizes this person. Themis. Okay, so you're not Elidibus in title at the moment, but you are wearing a white robe. This is totally Elidibus, right? That would make sense to me. Don't answer that. Apologies for not introducing myself properly. My name is Themis. As you can see by my bare face, I am not one of Elpis's observers. Rather, I am come here on an assignment, which has been more or less routine up until this very moment. You certainly do know how to make an entrance. I must wonder what brought you here, for it is plain you do not belong here. Or any place I know, for that matter. I'm Azim's familiar, or I'm also here on an assignment. I could continue this lie, but I don't particularly like that lie. I'm here on a mission. Are you here to investigate pandaemonium, perchance? It would not surprise me should we share a purpose. Weird line read, but okay. Thank you, me. If so, we may be able to help one another. But first, might I trouble you to explain how you came to collide with my skull? Well, sure, I guess I'll be doing that right now. I see. I believe that dispels any major doubts I had concerning your intentions. Apologies for being so intrusive, but you must understand that this is an uncommon occurrence. Yeah, that makes sense. I shall pry no further, for I am well aware that we all have secrets we must keep. However, if I may, I'd very much like to take a look at this crystal of yours. Thinking. Nod. Something about this particular outfit I'm wearing is that it makes it very believable that Sucro would be carrying stuff in pockets because it has big pockets on it. Fascinating. I cannot say so much as to what it contains. It is clear that there are memories stirring within. Memories that speak of something gravely amiss in Pandaemonium. The facility extends beneath Elpis and is overseen by the words of La Habrea. It houses those creations that are highly valued as research subjects and highly dangerous to the star. Naturally, it is strictly guarded and under constant surveillance. Yeah, a lot of the Diadoco stuff is really good. Some of it I don't like as much, but like the casting, the healing, and the model that the tanking one uses, I like those. I forget which ones share that. I think aiming shares it. I don't know what else. Several days ago, however, an unnatural shift in the flow of its surrounding ether was detected. Soon thereafter, all communications from Pandaemonium ceased. Gasp. I'm here as a representative of an organization that works directly with the Convocation, and have been tasked with investigating this incident. Now that there is some measure of transparency between us, might I offer a suggestion as to what we should do next? Animal Planet's most extreme creations? Someone in this area mentions you usually need a permit, and this is alluding to the Pandaemonium entrance being here. Neat. During the course of your investigation, you may discover valuable artifacts. These can be exchanged for equipment. Neat. The morning dew, morning as in lamenting, and not as in time of day. Where familiars dare. Now then, my proposal is a simple one. Let us journey to Pandaemonium together. Our destination is the same, and I suspect the arrangement would work to our mutual benefit. Besides, I should have no trouble gaining us both access. I do hope you agree. I would be loath to part ways from the falling star I'd been waiting so long for. Questioning head tilt? Originally, I'd planned to conduct my investigation with the friend I mentioned earlier. She had also noticed the anomaly near Pandaemonium, so it only seemed natural that we should investigate it together. However, she eventually decided it would be unwise for us both to go. 2 members of our organization were seen poking our heads about restricted facilities. It could raise questions, you see. I decided to go alone, but she left me with these words. Fear not, for in my absence a star shall fall before you. While I could not comprehend her meaning at the time, I believe now I understand. She does have a way of being right about these things. So, my immediate thought is that this mysterious person Themis is referring to is Azim. But I have no way of proving this. Unless anyone happens to know if pronouns change depending on your character's gender in these text boxes. But also, don't tell me. It'll probably be important to the story if that's meaningful. Chuckle. Even so, her hints of what to come are generally more cryptic. It could also be Vana. I suppose I should have kept my gaze to the heavens. Yeah, this does seem like the most disconnected tokens to armor pipeline, now that you mention it. Suffice it to say that I'm grateful for your presence either way. As for the matter at hand, we must first gain permission from the words of La Habrea for entry into Pandaemonium. There ought to be a speaker waiting at Ananoresis. Do you think any of the Ancients have an equivalent to Zubooks? Since we're talking about an extreme zoo or Animal Planet or something. Can I get the free elephant issue? Or whatever. I sent a request for permission before setting forth to Elpis. With luck, we shall not be waiting long. Hello. What a fascinating etheric signature. In accordance with the convocation's request, the two of you have been granted leave to observe Pandaemonium. I shall register your ether for the records. From this point on, you may freely come and go from Pandaemonium as you please. Nod. Now that was a painless process. I take this as a sign that we were meant to conduct our investigations together. Nod. Of course, while you've been permitted entry into the facility, the specimens housed inside must be handled with the utmost care. You're to heed the warder's instructions at all times. Questioning head tilt? Those who conduct their work within Pandaemonium are called warders for their role with respect to the creatures within. Generally, creations that pose a threat to the safety of the star must be undone. However, the words of La Habrea has deemed certain such creations as worthy of further study, interring them within the facility. Those who spend their days in Pandaemonium are not merely researchers. They must work tirelessly to ensure that none of their subjects slip their shackles. For all intents and purposes, the place is a dungeon. A raid, maybe. Perhaps such a comparison arouses frightful imagery, but Pandaemonium is a frightful place. I know not the purpose of your investigation, but if you discover aught that merits a report, pray do so with utmost haste. Master La Habrea shall guide us upon the proper course of action from there. Then I take it that means you've detected nothing amiss as of late? The warders have reported nothing that would cause alarm. Minor fluctuations in ether have been observed, but surely Master La Habrea would have acted if there were anything worth worrying about. I see. It appears La Habrea is kept well abreast of the goings-on here, then. I hope I'm not overstepping my boundaries by asking, but you seem to be quite familiar with Master La Habrea. Do you know him? Know him? We met. Once, maybe. That a mere familiar would have had the honor to meet Master La Habrea. He's not known to easily afford others his time, so you must be extraordinary indeed to be granted even a moment of it. Regardless, well, I doubt I need to tell you this. He's of the convocation. Take care that your actions do not hinder his work. Nod. And with that, we're free to make our way to Pandaemonium. The naos that will take us there is on the eastern bank of Lethe, maybe. Let us delay no further. Now, we don't need to give him all the details of how we met La Habrea. I just met him. Definitely no violence involved. No fighting. Oh, I don't know if I really noticed that this structure is like a cool lighthouse before. I might have. Ah, the corn. Praise the corn. I'm going to continue insisting that this is corn, even though it's probably not. God. The chat existing in the world as a, quote, gaggle of mischievous imps is kind of funny. I suppose that's one way you could choose to characterize yourselves. I had to contain my surprise for the sake of appearances, but is it true that you too have met La Habrea in the flesh? I find you more fascinating by the moment. Still, I shall refrain from asking too many questions. Secrets will make our journey all the more intriguing. We shall come to know each other in time, I wager. Thank you for petting Calico. Or why else would fate have orchestrated our meeting? In any case, let us be off. Truth be told, this will be my first time beholding the fabled pandaemonium with my own eyes. Here's to a new adventure, eh? Teleport sound. That sure is purple. I've seen some of this scenery briefly, but that's like literally all I know. It is much as I feared. Wizard jail, yeah. Cages and chains indeed. The speaker seemed in such high spirits that for a moment I thought the ethereal irregularity not nearly so grave as a portent as I'd imagined. Alas, 'twas a fleeing and vain hope. To gaze upon this complex network of chains and wards, the untrained eye might not sense anything awry. No effort has been spared in making this place impenetrable. It does have Kingdom Hearts vibes a little bit. What is the functional purpose of the spikes on the bottom of the cages? Other than if they start swinging around and may collide with someone? Even the finest of masterworks is not without its flaws, however. I like that idea. They gave the environment artist the word Gothic in 72-point type and no other instructions. Someone or something is tampering with the protections. It is working from within, eroding them from the inside out. Gasp. Fear not, there is no immediate danger. I reinforced what protections I could the moment we arrived. This will not put an end to whatever is occurring, but it shall at least serve to slow its progress. One small victory, though the road ahead of us is yet long. Yes, powerful forces are at work here. The silence in the air speaks volumes. I did not expect a bustling facility. I see not a single warder. Our first course of action should be to seek one out wherever they may be. However, there is something you must know. The magic I wove upon entering requires my constant awareness. That is to say, if we are forced to fight, I cannot risk joining you in battle. Should I lose focus, Pandaemonium's protections will rapidly crumble before the force assailing them. There was a gasp there, also. Were there another way, I would gladly choose it. But let us at least be grateful that neither of us is here alone, trapped in hopeless circumstances. If we should fail to find a peaceable solution, then I hope I can rely on your strength to see us through. Hand on hip. Of course, you have my promise, sir. This request doesn't come as a surprise, to be honest. Of course. I'll do my best. Thank you for offering your help so willingly. If weapons are drawn, I hope to be able to lend at least a touch of magical support. Questioning head tilt? Creation magics do have their uses in that regard. I had it in mind to use your ether as basis for illusory allies that will fight at your side. Perhaps 7 shall do. Not exactly an army, but by the looks of you, a formidable band nonetheless. Content warning, chain imagery, that makes sense. I am personally not a fan of chains particularly, but that's fine. Especially when I'm shooting them with lasers. Then so it shall be. Now what, I wonder, awaits us in Pandaemonium's pitiless halls? Clearly there should be duty support for Pandaemonium that makes every other party member an illusory duplicate of you. Because that's what it sounded like you were implying. Asphodelos, the first circle, now accessible. Alright, we're just going right in there. Well, not exactly directly right in there, but still. The weather here is Pandaemonium. Is it alright if you queue alongside? Sure, why not? Also joining us will be Rika. Weather, all demons. I cannot say for sure what awaits us. Let us make ready for the worst, and we shall not be taken by surprise. Asphodelos, first circle. For some reason, when I said that, like, Asphodelos, the first circle, I immediately thought it in my head, like, team battle, battle one, like a battle revolution announcer sort of thing. Here we go. Sucro in Chaos Castlevania Helltown. So, Sucro, you like to play Castlevania. You like to play Super Mario Sunshine. I'm never gonna be over Psycho Mantis saying Super Mario Sunshine. Or like any... This place is ridiculous. Positive. Yeah, the music seems good too. So what do we got? We got cages, 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 spike, 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 chain, chain, dead trees. I don't really see how all of these empty cages are particularly helpful. I mean, I guess we can assume that things have broken out of them. And that may be an explanation for why they are empty. I still ponder the importance of the spikes on the lower part of the cage. Yeah, the castle in the distance I feel is especially Castlevania-like. This place is really cool looking. Healer Q has not caused an immediate victory today. Never mind. Here's a secret to solving problems. If you complain about something or observe something, they say the watched pot never boils, but if you're looking at the pot and you're like, huh, this pot sure isn't boiling, it'll start boiling right away. I forgot to make my portrait match, apparently. The world unsundered. Ah, a warder. Clearly this will be fine. I'll save them. I must. This is not fine, it would seem. Oh, you didn't make it. This appears to be one of the wardens we seek, but I'm afraid he's in no state to answer questions. Perhaps you can bring him to his senses. Nod. Well, time for lasers. I thought you were gonna do the finger snap for a second. Oh, that's fun. Order of the Condemned, Erchthonius. Someone in the party said 1 minute, please, so... Nope, guess we're not waiting. I must save them, but first... Run all you like, but my chains will catch you. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. You do like the sweep on the side that you're... You sweep the side you're sweeping. Gotcha. This music is fascinating. Drag them unto the depths, O chains! Oh, that was the wrong tank. My bad. Be assailed by ice and flame. Okay. I don't follow. But apparently I did that incorrectly. Okay, so this is back to alternating, I guess. And that was to indicate where we start. And I'm supposed to remember the order of things. I get it a little bit. I don't know why the tanks are spinning the boss like this. But that's not like a major problem. You leave me no choice. I cannot allow you to run free. Okay. I don't follow. Okay, so I have to like watch what you're doing. Now you're gonna hit all the red ones? And also back there, or over there? No, you hit me instead. I don't get it. I don't get it, but it doesn't matter. Blue orb means hitting blue. I did not see a blue orb. I did not behold with my senses the mechanic that I was intended to. Orbs around the boss. I did not see those. I don't know if I won any of this or not. I literally do not know. I don't think any of this appeals to me. From what I remember. Anyway, this guy is dead, probably. I got commendations, even though I got hit a bunch and didn't know what was happening. That was a thrilling display, and if I may be so vaunting, the warriors I spun from your ether even fought even more splendidly than I had anticipated. Yeah, I was just trying to remember. I don't think any of the Asphodelos glamour appeals to me, is the thing. I suppose they were cut from excellent cloth, after all. We should wait until this man regains his senses. He wears the robes of a warder, and I would be very curious to know what drove him to attack us sight unseen. Yeah, I assume I didn't see that there were remaining cubes. I only saw the cubes and then the cubes went away. I think maybe my eyes are broken and my brain doesn't work, is what I'm learning. Anyway. Sucro, he stirs. I shouldn't be so negative, I did fine. It's just that every explanation of the mechanics I didn't understand is that I was supposed to see something which I didn't notice. What came over me? It's coming back to me. My mind was filled with a storm of desperation, anger. I leapt at you, though I know not of your intentions. Pray accept my apologies, and my thanks. Had you not knocked some sense back into me, I may have fallen upon someone less capable of defending themselves. Nod. I am Erechthonios, a warrior of Asphodelos, Pandaemonium's highest lair and the place we're in now. One must wonder why you were so desperate to keep us out. What is happening in Pandaemonium? The creations interred within Asphodelos have been set free and stalk its halls to no end but violence. That is not good, to say the least. Has this ever happened before? Shake head. No, never. Each level of Pandaemonium is under the charge of a key ward, who keeps strict control over the most minute aspects of their domain. They're selected with great care, and their loyalty to Master La Habrea is absolute. Yet something has gone terribly wrong. Try as we might to hold the line, the chaos within is overwhelming. I hardly realized that it had become separated from my colleagues. I remember a chorus of whispers assailing my senses, and afterwards only flashes of rage and fury, then blackness, from which I awoke to find that whatever had overcome me was gone. I see. Your senses may have been muddled by magics that affect the mind, perhaps the selfsame ones that saw you separated from the other warders. Whatever had taken hold of me, thank you for releasing me from its clutches. That you've come here from the surface must mean some word of our plight has reached the outside world. If you know anything that may help, pray tell. Nod. Explaining. Horror among horrors, so Pandaemonium's protections are indeed being dismantled from within. By the same individual or individuals that released its captives and set them upon you, no doubt. Such knowledge avails us little, however, if we cannot ascertain their identity. Themis, was it? You said you worked for an organization under the auspices of the Convocation. Were they to receive word of what has transpired here? What measures would they take? Doubtless they would consider this place to be a lost cause. Pandaemonium's ties to the outside world would be severed, or perhaps it would be wiped from existence entirely. Narrow eyes. As I thought, were the creatures to escape into the outside world, there would be untold carnage. The words of La Habrea would never risk that, despite what value the research subjects may hold. All the more reason to work with haste. If we can't expect further help, then it falls upon me to save the others. I'll not leave them behind. Gasp. You would go alone. I won't leave the other warders to face certain doom. I know they fight for survival even now. They wouldn't abandon their duty. They would see the creatures return to their cells at all costs. And so I must do the same. Themis, I know the request I'm about to make of you is a monumental one, but please, say not a word of this to the convocation until I've been given a chance to set things right. Forgive my rudeness, Ekthonios, but my decision cannot be swayed by emotion. You would only be consigning yourself to an early death. Strength of resolve alone cannot win in the face of overwhelming odds. Well, I mean, sometimes it can, but, you know. That being said, our investigation has only just begun, and we would be remiss to turn back ere we've made an exhaustive survey. So for the time being, there's slightly more than resolve to rely upon. Determined. Heh, I knew you'd all be all too eager to join us. Each moment since you fell from the skies has been more interesting than the last. More and more you remind me of my dear friend, which goes some way toward encouraging me that this matter will yet reach a satisfactory conclusion. Nod. So you agree to help? For the moment, our goals align. The protective magics of Pandaemonium yet hold, so for the moment, time is in our favor. Let us proceed upon the course you and Sucro have set us upon. Leave it to me. Themis and Sucro, yes? Thank you. The warders owe you a great debt already. Nod. Nod. We shall be glad to have someone familiar with Pandaemonium's halls by our side. Party of 3 is ever so much more entertaining than a pair of 2. Now let us turn our attention to rescuing your colleagues. Perhaps it would be wise to approach the gates in case any have followed you out. Nod, nod. I was actually thinking about it, yeah. It's very important that everyone knows how confused and anxious I am about everything, I guess, via the portrait. Seems our investigation will be quite the ordeal after all. Still, I find it hard to believe that La Habrea knows not of what has transpired here. Whoever the mastermind of this crisis is, they do not lack for power and cunning. Under the surface. Was it necessary to make gaps in the bars of the gate entirely to make it look like teeth or fangs or something? The answer, of course, is yes, because of the aesthetic of this location having to be cohesive. It's very important. Not a sound can be heard from within, which means neither creature nor warder has made it this far. We should begin forming a plan to save them at once. Forgive me if I misunderstand, but do you mean to rescue the warders and creations both? Naturally, although they may be dangerous, they're valuable research subjects. I wouldn't see our labor, our untold hours of study, go to waste. I dare say La Habrea would smile to hear you say such a thing. That is, if we had cause to report this incident to him. Smile? I'm not sure his face is capable of such warmth. So you've met him before. I was under the impression that he rarely visited Pandaemonium. I have, yes. My mentor was the previous head of this facility. That is to say, La Habrea's predecessor in the position of Chief Keyward. Her name was Athena, and she was a researcher with the words. 'Twas she who appointed me to this position, in fact. I see. Did not know there was a chief keyword before La Habrea. Your motivation to save your research subjects is not entirely driven by duty to the words, then. You wished also to preserve the work of your mentor. You've the right of it. I'm lacking in ideas of how to go about that, however. I'm a mere warder and cannot wield interment magics. Questioning Hentel? Ah, but of course I can hardly expect you to be versed in the magics we use here. If you recall, during our battle earlier, I bound you in ethereal shackles. You did? Interment is a more refined and powerful magic based upon the same principles. I think we may skip that part. While both are used to keep our subjects docile, only the keyword of each tier is permitted to use interment. Even if I were allowed, I lack the aptitude to use the spell to any notable effect. Fascinating. I have some knowledge of these forms of spellcraft, actually. La Habrea himself established their foundation, if I recall. While shackles are meant to bind an object in place for a short time, interment freezes the very space around it, for as long as the caster wills. Indeed. While the illusory beings you summoned in our fight suggested as much, I see your knowledge of magic is vast. Perhaps you've already mastered the art of interment, and I've been lecturing you like a child all this time. I'm afraid my knowledge ends there. I have not the precise understanding of how the invocations interact with natural laws that would be needed to cast said spells with any consistency. While I consider myself well versed in various magics, I would be ill-advised to assume the duties of keyword without instruction. That being said, if I were to learn more of interment and its inner workings, perhaps. Well, you have a warder standing in front of you, or leave the fighting to me. You two can figure out the rest. Well, I mean, there's a warder right there. You'd ask him. Well, the solution is obvious when you put it like that. Ericthonios, you implied that what prevented you from performing interment was lack of magical capacity. What if I supplemented your power with my own? Would the spell succeed then? I can't say for certain. I've never heard of such a thing being done. I believe it may be our best recourse. That is, of course, assuming you can perform the initial rites and incantations flawlessly. Even the smallest misstep and we would have to start over. Nod. You needn't worry about that. I've seen the spells cast so many times that their motions have been burned into my memory. I won't disappoint. Nod. Very well. Let us work out the specifics afterwards. Once we do, we can test out our methods on one of the escaped creatures, though I suppose there's the matter of finding one. It would be foolish to rush in blindly, lest we find ourselves surrounded with naught but an untested stratagem at our disposal. Nay, I'd prefer to engage a single creature that Sucro could dispatch on her own if the spell were to go awry. I agree, and I may have an idea in that regard. I recall seeing the hippocampus wandering the waterways during my flight. Perhaps it's still there. Few of the subjects housed within Asphodelos are fond of water, and I believe we'll be able to engage the beast without fear of unwanted guests. Nod. Then that shall be our first target, or perhaps subject is a better term. Before we commence with the interment magics, the creature should be weakened to a sufficient degree. I believe I can trust you with that task. Yeah, the hippocampus is familiar, and as dependable as ever. Once you've given it a thorough trouncing, we shall bind this hippocampus with the keyword's magic. Till then, my illusion shall fight by your side. The hippocampus will be alone, but it's a daunting opponent nonetheless. Its magic warps the environment around it, and it will be at home amidst the waterways. Steel yourself for a fight. It's always the horses. Horses are just inherently funny to me for reasons. The second circle. Horse. That's a great question about Wizard Horse. Why did they invent Wizard Horse that's so powerful it had to go to jail? I mean, given that one person going way out of their way to try and make like an apex predator that would completely dominate whatever ecosystem it was placed in, thus inventing the behemoth. And yet the behemoth wasn't something that needed to go to wizard jail. Wizard horse, wizard horse. Over there, it's approaching fast, slowly. One of those. Mythic creation, the hippocampus. I didn't need to do that immediately. That was foolish of me. It'll be fine though. I'm assuming these raised platforms will be important. Its head and body are at odds, yet I doubt it signifies anything good. Okay. I see. Oh. Dang it. Too early. I'm not doing well with my healing. Complete a higher ground lest the creature drown us in its rage. Oh dear. That's fine. But we have to stack, right? With that marker? Yeah, we do. Its head comes off. Have care. Oh. I don't think I don't have sage practice like at all. Wait. Here, I guess? Wait. Did the white mage actually revive or not? God dang it. Oh, they didn't. Okay. Horse defeated. Maybe I should try Scholar. I wonder if I would do better or worse as Scholar. Why not, right? Maybe I will roll for these. I don't know. I don't think I need any of them. Why did I get 4 commendations? I didn't do anything. This is what happens when you're a healer. I survived the mechanic and the other healer didn't. I guess that's true too. I'm gonna try Scholar. Like, why not, right? Also, I like Scholar with this coat because it looks like I'm pulling the book out of my giant pocket. This freaking weird book. I'm going to BRB again. Which means, of course, Wait, does summoning Barry during that portion make him silent? That's funny. Also, would it be preferable to continue doing this or that via simulated coin flip, or would it be better if I just chose one of them on my own using my whims? And you have to predict me. Would that be funnier? I don't know. Also, there's something I should probably change about my my scholar. I'm sure I have a real coin somewhere, but I don't know if I'd probably, if I flipped a real coin, it would probably like collide with my monitor and explode my entire house somehow. Anyway. I have Sacred Soil on a macro. I should probably not do that. The reason I had it on a macro is because it was use on target. But the game doesn't really like macros, so I think maybe being able to place it is probably smarter. I don't know. More fun when truly random. Got it. That was a trial by fire, or water, I suppose, but I had faith that we would see it through, so long as we had your stout arm, of course. I knew that you were no mercenary, but to make such clean work of the hippocampus, seasoned fighters scarcely have occasion to visit Pandaemonium, let alone display their skills. Mastery takes all forms indeed. Needless to say, our plan worked to perfection, in no small part thanks to you two. Themis's power was more than enough to complete the interment. I thought that said the internet for a second. Spellcasting was never my strong suit, but it also made me feel like a proper magos. Truly, having seen your abilities firsthand in your fight with Sucro, I beg to disagree. Shackles is the one exception, and 'tis only because I've been forced to practice it since I was but a small child. Other magics leave me feeling completely out of my depth. Regardless, it seems luck is on my side to guide me to you. We may prove the impossible possible after all. I love to have a million critical hit materia 9 that I'll never use, and also battle dance materia that I'll use even less. After witnessing the hippocampus's I'll vendor all of these most likely. After witnessing the hippocampus's capabilities, I should not blame you for wishing to avoid engaging any further creations in place of their choosing. Alas, I doubt we will have the luxury. Fires of creation. While our success in sealing away the hippocampus is certainly heartening, the fact that we have yet to see any other warders concerns me. Thinking. The keyword of Asphodelos is nothing if not cautious. Doubtless he has gathered what warders he could and retreated to a safe area. I barely know anything about how overmelding works. I was of the impression that you couldn't really even overmeld on the best gear, so there wasn't a point in it. Let us hope so. It occurs to me that I know little of the keywords besides their magical prowess. Is there aught more you can share? I might be completely wrong about overmelding. I don't know. Nod. Of course, a man named Hesperos is in charge of Asphodelos. Not only does he have a thorough knowledge of the creatures here, but he takes great pains to be a mentor to each of the warders under his charge. He's done much to ensure that I flourished here in spite of my ineptitude at magic. I've always known him to be the sort of man who faces difficult decisions with unwavering composure. Furthermore, keywords are not only masters of interment, they can also bend the hallways of Pandaemonium to their will with creation magics. With all this in mind, I'm certain that so long as Hesperos guides them, the other warders are safe. What do you need to exchange Diadocus for augmented Diadocus anyway? I don't know how to do that. Maybe I should do that if I can. I can see why absolute control over the environs is imperative. Had we faced the hippocampus upon arid sands instead of the waterways, I suspect the battle would have ended much more quickly. In any case, if this Hesperos is as capable and caring as you say, we would do well to seek him out as soon as we can. He is like as not taken your colleagues to a secure location. Nod. The safest place could be the innermost circle of Asphodelos. From there they could flee to Abyssos if hard-pressed. Even should they have sought safe haven within the other circles, if we make it for the fourth, we ought to encounter them on the way. Indeed, and we shall gain a comprehensive understanding of the situation within Asphodelos, which will be essential in determining whether we ought continue down to Abyssos. The rub, of course, is that I myself possess no power to bend the circles to my will. Instead, we must proceed through the central corridor, which was barred by the Phoenix, last I checked. Phoenix. I've heard the name before. Fiery bird with life eternal. Okay, so you have to buy something with causality tomestones. I don't know how you get certificates of import. I've seen those vendors, but I didn't look up how to get the items. I might have to look into that. Beyond unquenchable brilliance, the perfected concept boasts nigh boundless restorative powers, if I recall. Truly an exemplary feat of creation magics. Perfection is ever built on the back of failure, however, and La Habrea suffered countless missteps during his experiments. Oh. I'm guessing you don't get enough certificates of import per Diadocos to be able to trade in. So, like, I'd have to trade in multiple pieces of Diadocos to get enough to upgrade one or something. Oh, it's 1-to-1. Huh. And he was hardly the only one. This Phoenix will be but one of many attempts at the concept gone awry. Aye, far from evoking wonder, our Phoenix is a creature of fury and wrath, and seeks only to turn the world to ash. Thus was it confined within Pandaemonium. Development of the concept continued elsewhere, but as the moons turned, more and more researchers abandoned the project as an impossibility, save for La Habrea and his words. When I received word that at long last La Habrea had succeeded where so many others had failed, I was nearly overcome. Pray tell, how did the warders of Pandaemonium celebrate their master's accomplishment? I don't believe we did. The research of the words of La Habrea has little consequence to our work here, save for those rare times it charges us with a new specimen. Truth be told, I don't remember anyone making note of the occasion. Shake head. But enough reminiscing. We must make ready to confront the Phoenix. While it's possible that it flew off to some other wing of Pandaemonium, we would make that assumption at our own peril. Better to assume that we'll need to bring Asphodelos' most unruly subject to heel. I certainly see no reason to delay. The Phoenix's power over flame will avail it far less in a barren corridor than elsewhere, so it may well serve us to subdue it sooner rather than later. Psyched! Or, like, fist bump, or whatever that emote is. Sucro's hyped. Resident Evil ladder cutscene omitted. Wow, 4 ladders. Bird. Oh. Hey, you look like a boss fight instead of a helpful... You also look like Dracula. Also, you've made a battle arena. What? This is becoming more Castlevania because Dracula is here now. Oh. Well, seems whoever's behind this can alter the space around us at will. We face an uphill battle. Arms crossed. Impossible. If those were creation magics at work, then that means... Let us confront that reality after we've conquered the enemy in front of us. Every drop of our focus shall be required if we are to inter the Phoenix. The Phoenix. Phoenix. I assume it's probably pronounced exactly the same as Phoenix. Quest accepted. Third circle. Phoenix, to be funny, maybe. Phonics? God. Well. 3. So let's see. I hope I remember anything about Scholar. I can hit the ground. I need to use Ether Flow. I can also use Dissipation for damage. This is a general all-purpose quick thing. That is to use this on tank. Don't forget to use Chain Stratagem constantly. I don't know when to use Fey Illumination, truthfully. That buffs healing, so it's not super important. So this boss has way too much orange, okay. See, the thing is, when I was talking about not having a lot of practice with Sage, I don't have much practice with Scholar either. I'm sure it'll probably go fine in the end. But the things that I have more practice as... Ah, no, my portrait! The portrait system is so annoying. Sometimes. The things that I have more practice as, technically, are the healers that I'm leveling up because I'm leveling them up. But I can't play as them because I'm leveling them up. Bird. I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to do that either. I pressed the wrong button so bad. God dang it. Accidentally summoned Seraph. That's super not helpful. I mean, it worked out. What? Oh, that's expedience. God damn it, I'm... Dang it. I'm doing all of the wrong buttons. I think I preferred Sage. Probably. Pressing buttons incorrectly again. I had to literally search my hotbar to find that. I'm playing dangerously by playing a job I don't remember. Wrong button again. The fights are cool and I'm having a good time. I'm just being critical of myself. That's all. Sure, why not? Contender for the toughest fight in Pandaemonium? It's a fight that people don't like. It seemed like it was the same as the other ones to me. That didn't seem super difficult. But maybe I don't know. I was focused a lot on trying to figure out what I was doing. With that, the Phoenix is shackled once more. However, there's yet the matter of this arena. As you've told us, there's but one person in Asphodelis with the ability and authority to wield such magics. Though fortunately, it appears he saved us the trouble of finding him. A contemptible display, as befits an inferior specimen. That's apparently my Dracula voice. Perhaps the same could be said of all— no. Even so, I expected it would at least delay your advance. Imagine my surprise when I saw the chains of interment drag the Phoenix back to its cage. Either the bird is even more of a failure than its creators cared to admit, or you are no mean trespassers. Sukra's gonna hit you with a book. I'd hoped our suspicions were misplaced, but alas. It is I, Dracula! Keyword Hesperos, why? Why have you brought such chaos to your beloved Pandaemonium? This castle is a creature of chaos. Pandaemonium, pitiless, impenetrable, and utterly steadfast, unlike those charged with its keeping. What has possessed you? I don't understand. Oh, Erechthonios, must you pester me with these inane questions? Think for yourself. Surely you can muster a theory or two with that dim wit of yours. Then again, you have never been one for insight. Why Master La Habrea suffers your mediocrity, I shall never understand. That doesn't sound like how you described him at all. You may look like him, but you're not the Hesperos I know. Something has warped you too, from the inside out. The keyword I knew had compassion for all those under his charge, be they clad in robes or shackled in chains. Was that all a farce? Did you hide your contempt for us all these years? Those who are content to merely glimpse the water's surface are doomed to be dragged into its depths. You prove my opinion of you with every word. My mind is clearer than it's ever been. Even now, seeing you feebly grasp for answers makes the bile rise in my throat. Such wasted potential. To be son to Master La Habrea, yet no more skilled with magic than a newborn babe. But of course, it's always about La Habrea. Silence! You are not worthy to utter his name. For once, be grateful to witness a feat beyond your meager abilities, beyond your shallow reckoning. I have slipped the surly bonds of mortality. I've become one with our mythic creations and rid myself of imperfections. I stand upon the threshold of godhood. As a Hemitheos shall I serve Master La Habrea, ever faithful until the end of days. And he shall require no other. I think not. Gasp. Are you so blinded by arrogance that you've lost sight of what it means to serve? Erechthonios is more capable than you could ever know. It was thanks to his instruction that I was able to master the art of interment, both how to wield it and how to break free of it. What's this cat doing here? Sucro, let us quit this place. Whatever poison has corrupted Hesperos' mind, it is plain his power far eclipses our own. We must have time to gather our strength. No, not light! As a Dracula, I hate that! Ah, dang it! Weaklings though they may be, it takes a singular aptitude to master interment so quickly, to say nothing of how swiftly that familiar laid low the Phoenix. Regardless, their noble aims will be their undoing. Whether they fritter away their strength in calming the beasts of Asphodelos, I continue my work. Even should they survive long enough to reach the heart of my domain, naught shall await them but doom. I eagerly await your arrival, Erchthonios. Even dullards have their uses. I guess this is a Maria run. I'm gonna switch back to Sage again. I think. I understand Sage more than Scholar right now. Hey Eric, what are you thinking about? Please leave me be. You know what? That's fair. My darkest suspicions have been realized. We face the keyword of Asphodelos himself. More than that revelation, however, Erchthonios worries me. He loved Hesperos for his compassion, but received naught but scorn from whatever the keyword has become. He has said little since our return. I only hope that the shock of recent events does not prove to be a death knell for his resolve. Who wards the warders? Much as I am loath to disturb Erchthonios so soon after what just occurred, I am afraid circumstances do not afford us the luxury of time. Perhaps it will do him well to speak about recent events concerning both the keyword and his father. He seemed reticent to say aught concerning La Habrea when the subject was broached. Doubtless his relationship with his father is a fraught one. The creation of the ward which surrounds Pandaemonium was an astounding feat of magical prowess, feat accomplished by none other than La Habrea. That both my father and I can bind others in chains is perhaps the only thing that we have in common. Ah, so it is true. Aye, I'm La Habrea's son, bereft of his talent for magics or his brilliant mind, but his son nonetheless. Surely this doesn't come entirely as a surprise to you. Nay, I had an inkling when you said you hadn't practiced ethereal shackles since childhood. Assuming you hadn't been employed here quite that long, I had to indicate some long-held connection with La Habrea. It was La Habrea that taught me how to cast ethereal shackles, but that was it. My further education was overseen by the words of La Habrea, more specifically my mother, who was a researcher there. You did speak of Athena, chief keyword, before La Habrea. She is your mother, yes? Yes. How astute. I can see now why you were chosen to lead this investigation. You the right of it? Athena was my mother, and it was she who invited me to join her here. La Habrea had nothing to do with it. I see there's little love lost between you two. What I cannot see is why La Habrea was appointed chief keyword when another was already in place. Was in place. My mother is no longer with us. Sad. And La Habrea was all too eager to assume her responsibilities with nary a moment spared to mourn her. What love do I owe him now when he offered not one drop of compassion then? Ah, I see. She is no longer with us, an expression to convey the end of a life. I have only known the public face of La Habrea, while he is lauded for his ability to maintain composure in the face of unnerving circumstances, I must admit that he oft comes across as cold. Apologies, but can we speak of something else? This topic isn't an easy one for me to discuss. Of course, there are more pressing matters at hand after all, namely how to deal with Hesperos. We have yet to see the other warders. Judging by what we know, we can surmise that Hesperos has confined them somewhere beyond our grasp. And now that he's aware of our presence, he will be preparing for our next encounter. We cannot expect to face him on equal footing. Quite the opposite, in fact. Every moment we spend chasing after the creations is another moment Hesperos can contrive of another advantage for himself. The wisest course would be to find him first and foremost. Nod. He said that he has become one with the creations. Perhaps that means he is vulnerable to interment. Questioning head tilt and arms folding. In theory, that should be possible. However, is it enough merely to confine him after all he's done? I need to know why. I need to know what drove him to forsake everything he's worked for. Was it all truly so that he could serve his master? To my mind, he's merely put La Habrea's own work at risk in trade for some nebulous power. La Habrea is the chief keyword of Pandaemonium. How would throwing it into disarray win his favor? It doesn't make any sense. Nod. I share your curiosity, but we must consider that our enemy has us at a disadvantage in every sense. What do you think? Should we seek to put him in fetters, or would it be too dangerous to allow him quarter? I want answers too, or if you fail to confine him, I can always strike him down. We need answers. Hype Sucro again. Daring as ever, I see. I know not which trials you've faced in your past, but to see you so certain is all the convincing I need. Very well, let us try Ericthonios' plan. Thank you, Sucro. Nod. I believe I can shed some light on the nature of your foe. When Hesperos spoke with us, I noticed he bore the telltale fangs of the Rykolakas, a beast which feeds off the ether of his prey. He literally became a Dracula? And not just taking the style of a Dracula? You're telling me it's more than just the aesthetic. Likely that is the creation Hesperos merged his essence with. He has become a Dracula. And we know all too well that he can change the environment around himself at will. The battle will not be an easy one, but I believe in our victory. Determined. To shoot Dracula with a laser. Or 20,000. I've become a Dracula. Dracula is now fightable. I can't believe you're Dracula. What a Dracula. By the way, did you know your character's mouth moves when you type in a chat? I'm sure you probably did, but I don't know if this has ever been shown on this stream before. I definitely have enough causality to upgrade my Diadocos gear, I guess, then, if they're 100 apiece. Oh, you need more than one per. Okay. I can do something with all of this, probably. I shouldn't. Whoop. No investigation, only Dracula. $2,000 of a tombstone is basically never enough. But enough talk! I'm Dracula! Taking off the glasses, even. I'm even more Dracula. Oh, the music. I have waited for this moment, or I've awaited this moment. Witness the full measure of a Hermithios' power. There is but one master in Asphodelos. Check out my cape. Isn't it cool? These halls are my domain. I have no idea what's happening. Setting this scene is the name of the attack he's doing. I see. The number one problem I seem to be having as Sage that I'm noticing is that I am overcapping on my resources constantly. Okay, green, blue, white. I don't know what that means. I accidentally used Pepsis somehow. What? I don't understand why I died. Your ether turns, and by it you shall be undone, he said. What? Oh, is it don't stand there? I was assuming, I mean, there's an X on it. I don't know anything. Scurry, vermin, ere my blade finds your bellies. This Clomus is no mere affectation, I assure you. Huh. This game has an interesting effect of, like, I know you're probably not supposed to be able to sight read every mechanic blind on your first try, but I feel like they surely don't expect me to also... They surely don't expect that everyone reads a guide before doing every fight, right? So they, like, expect you to die, presumably. But also, I always feel bad when I die. Because I think part of me always expects everybody to immediately hate me forever when I mess up. Because there are some people in every given game that will do that. And also, like, I fail to understand half of what's happening sometimes. So I don't... I'm supposed to be learning the mechanics, but I don't know what anything that's happening on the camera, on the screen right now means. Like, I don't know what any of these... Could be worse. I don't know what any of those terrains mean at all. I did not learn a single thing about them through the fight. At first, I thought it was like, don't stand there, but then they were everywhere, and then we had to stand on them, and I don't know what's going on. I don't get it. It doesn't work with my brain, with how they were attempting to teach that. I don't think it's a bad fight. I just don't know anything about what I was supposed to do. To be clear. Oh, there's a funny bat. I have a Dracula now. What did I roll on the Dracula? Oh, I rolled a 66. That seems appropriate. The lightning attack is get away from center. The water one is get towards center. I see. The idea that maybe this game is expected to be, maybe the deaths in this game are expected to work like regular Final Fantasy, where sometimes people die and it's fine, is interesting. Because my immediate instinct is, if you make a mistake in a multiplayer game, everyone hates you and kills you and wants you dead and shoots you with a gun in real life. So, even though that's demonstrably usually not true in this game, not immediately understanding everything and perfectly doing everything that I've never seen before makes me feel bad. Because that's just who I am. Hello, Dracula. Do you like to drink the blood and smoke the weed, Dracula? Let's poke Dracula. To be clear, I thought that was cool, and I thought this guy's design was cool. If I sound negative, I'm sorry. I'm just really worried about my own... Dracula? No Dracula. Dracula? No Dracula. I'm really worried about my own performance in video game. Anyway, Dracula's dead. Now, Themis, we end this here. I'll be back in 1,000 years, Belmont. Fools, I will not be put in chains. I'm too Dracula for this. Also, the Bat minion is literally Nosferatu, so they know this is Dracula. To think that I would fall before one such as you. Perhaps I should have treated you as more than a mere nuisance. It's me, Sucro Belmont. Everyone knows this. Despite your victory, you shall never have the knowledge you seek. The secrets of my transformation, the secrets of my deception, they shall return to the star with me. You are wasting your breath, Hesperos. We have the upper hand now. Surely you can see that. Yes, yes, my repertoire is not exhausted yet, however. Although I have failed, my end shall be on my terms. Here is my cool sword. Goodbye. I remain loyal to my very last. Come what may, I die with dignity. Interesting. Also, I was Dracula. How did your ambition lead you so astray, Hesperos? You were better than that. Your star shone more brightly than any other in Pandaemonium. You had La Habrea's respect, his trust. What more did you seek? That you would forsake all that and sully your legacy besides. He became so blinded by his own desires that he lost sight of his duty. In the end, he lost everything, and his plans lie in tatters. I fail to see any dignity in that. Even so, I would have liked to know why he chose this path. Hesperos' infatuation with your father was his undoing. Perhaps he was jealous that fate had chosen you and not him to be La Habrea's son. So terrible did this jealousy become that he sought verboten power. Power that La Habrea would be unable to ignore. It's funny to me that he's very Dracula, and they said verboten, and there's the sword in Castlevania Symphony of the Night that says verboten. That's all. That's the end of that thought. How does a pursuit for respect warp one's heart so? How does infatuation with one person turn into contempt for everyone else? I've never heard of such a thing. It's not as uncommon as you might think. It happens, but that doesn't mean it's right. It's not as uncommon as you think, unfortunately. I see. I admit I cannot but find it vexing. Perhaps that signifies naught but my own capacity for bitterness. I do understand what it is to have a beacon to follow in dark times. Person you trust to guide you true. How it is to desperately wish their light would fall upon you again. But we've spent enough time assuming the intentions of the departed. There are the living to consider. We must find the other warders and round up the remaining creations forthwith. Of that, at least, we can be certain. Smile. I believe I can help in that matter. The influence of Hesperos' magic is fading throughout Asphodelos. Now is the perfect opportunity to seize control of the facilities and restore things to their original state. Seize control? Can you really do that? Smile. What? What is this presence? Erchthonios, what lies beyond that threshold? That's the passage which connects Asphodelos to Abyssos. Why? Be on your guard, you two. Now that Asphodelos is free of obstructions, I can more easily sense disturbances in the lower levels. Something stirs in Abyssos. It's Dracula 2. The sequel to Dracula. Dracula 2 is very two-dimensional. A warding sigil? How? Let us return to the gates for now. I should like to appraise the situation from there. Needless to say, our investigation is far from over. Nod. Can't believe they made a sequel to Dracula. Nosferatu, nothing if not gentlemanly and perhaps bloodthirsty. Can I summon a minion here? No, I can't because the panda is not present. Though understood to refer to vampires, the word Nosferatu has an uncertain origin, and the same may be said of this bat-like creature. However, from the fact that it appears to be wearing a dinner suit and won't drink your blood without permission, it's certainly a gentlemanly sort. Aren't bats just the cutest little plague bearers you ever did see? Says Bat Enthusiast. Thanks, Bat Enthusiast. Just when I thought our work to be done, did this tragedy unfold all throughout Pandaemonium? You saw a zillion Nosferatu minions in 6.1? That's funny. Although we defeated Hesperos, it appears we have but scratched the surface of Pandemonium's troubles. My head is still swimming with questions, but could this mean that Hesperos wasn't actually behind this? It is a stark possibility, yes. The root of this crisis may lie somewhere much deeper than even Abyssos. When we first encountered you, you said the memories of your escape were vague and that your senses were muddled. I believe this was more than the result of a panicked mind. You were made to feel this way by a powerful magical influence. It is possible that this same magic could have poisoned Hesperos' heart, twisting his affection for La Habrea into a burning obsession. Then in his altered state, he was made an offer of power he could not refuse. Wait, are you suggesting that someone else turned Hesperos into that thing? If so, it stands to reason they wouldn't stop at him. Nod. Indeed, our mysterious mastermind does not lack for subjects for his experiments, for more potential Hemithioi. My immediate thought is that it's La Habrea. If what you're saying is true, then my colleagues, they're doomed to share the same fate as Hesperos. Did La Habrea do mind-altering magic shenanigans? Probably. Do not lose heart yet, Erechthonios. Hesperos challenged us alone, and that tells me that the process of his creation was a long and taxing one. He was the first Hemithios, and the rest of the warders are likely still alive. However, much as I would like to hasten deeper into Pandaemonium, the way forward is sealed off. Tempering? Oh, right. Tempering was an invention of the Asians. I forgot, briefly. We must focus on our efforts on finding a way through. With the creations still having free reign of Asphodelos, that won't be easy. On the contrary, I yet retain control of these circles, and thus can wield interment magic within their halls at will. The creatures will pose no threat to us. Just like that, then nothing's stopping us from returning order to Asphodelos. Nod. Just so. I shall require your expertise to keep the peace after the subjects have been returned to their confinement, however. You are Asphodelos' sole remaining warder, after all. Truth be told, I did not expect this investigation to become so involved. Of course, I would like to resolve matters here without resorting to outside help, but... Do you mean to send a report to La Habrea? 'Tis too soon to say. Let us first find a way into Abyssos. It'd be best to withhold our judgment until we've ascertained the whereabouts of the other warders and the identity of the party responsible for their disappearance. Agreed. Even so, if it means saving even a single life within Pandaemonium, then I'm not above asking La Habrea for help, should it come to that. Nod. I bet La Habrea is evil already, somehow. Maybe that's the obvious solution. Or the obvious answer, and it's not true. Recent discoveries certainly paint Hesperos' actions in a new light. The number of unknown elements in this investigation grows, and we must proceed forward with the utmost caution. To that end, Erechthonios and I shall remain here for the time being. Much as I enjoy your company, I do not believe we shall be needing protection so long as we remain in Asphodelos. You should take this time to rest. Surely you are weary, and there may be more battles ahead of us. Themis' burden may grow heavier in your absence, but he's shown that he's more than capable to bear it. Still, I would help wheresoever I'm able. All we've achieved so far has been thanks to you two, and I mean to repay the debt I owe. I don't know what use I can be outside of placating the creatures, but I'll find a way. Nonsense, you owe us nothing. It was thanks to your knowledge of the magics which govern this place that we were able to come this far. Elsewise, we would have likely succumbed to the hippocampus' assault. Each of us has arrived at this dire pass by separate paths, but it is only by combining our respective expertise that we will reach the end of it and see Pandaemonium saved. Smile. Thank you, Themis. Hesperos' words seem to have affected me more than I realize. Together we've come this far, and together we'll reach the end. I have no doubt we will. Even so, let us allow Sucro her rest. Besides, you have someone awaiting a report on your progress, yes? I dare say your story will be much more than they ever imagined. Nod. So I realize it's only been like 3 hours, and we've only done one tier of the raid. But for whatever reason, I kind of feel like making this a short one, and doing tier 2 of the raid next time. I mean, obviously we need to complete wrapping this up, and all that. I think I might be a little tired out by my own self-critical thinking. I did do some stuff before that, that's true. Ideally, I'd be able to get all of my healers to 90 before next time and figure out which healer I actually want to like try and practice, but that's unlikely. Oop, that's the wrong... I want to look at my funny Dracula. That's a funny Dracula. That doesn't do anything. I somehow managed to land exactly on the one I was looking for. No interactions with the funny Dracula, it seems. Like, all things considered, I guess I did pretty well, but I'm very critical of my own self. So, yeah. We all know this, though, probably. I want to look at the funny Dracula up close. That's a good Dracula. I am the funny bat, blah. I am made of a triangle. Or many of them. I like to smoke the weed. Anyway. I wonder what Nosferatu says on the island. Probably bat sound effect. Or something to that extent. At the professor's behest, we have kept our reports on recent events as vague as we can manage. Even if we wish to do otherwise, not much of note has transpired here of late. Professor Claudian has tasked me with recording the ethereal signatures of each and every crystal in his recent orders. As a lowly assistant, I'm honored to be given such an enormous and monumental assignment. Enormous and monumental mean the same thing. More or less. Welcome, Sucro. Back from the past, none the worse for wear, I see. So what did you find? Nod. There was a Dracula. Refuses to explain anything else. So there is evil afoot in Pandaemonium, an already ominous place. I must say, mythic beasts and missing warders, truly we're fortunate to see you return to us in one piece. It appears the voice Sucro heard from the crystal spoke the truth. As for who left it behind and why, those are yet questions to be answered. Indeed, it would seem it could be someone who lived among the ancients, or it could be someone trying to avert a tragedy from the future. Much remains shrouded in mystery. Yet ilm by ilm we shall unveil that mystery, with the help of Sucro, of course. By her actions was the fabric of the past reshaped, yet she returns to the same present she left. Which can only mean one thing, that her intervention in Pandaemonium's crisis is but one of the countless building blocks of history upon which our present has been built. Gasp. I mean, I guess. There is no telling what consequences would arise if we stop pursuing this matter now. Whatever plot is unraveling within Pandaemonium, we must not let it reach its conclusion. If one of those creatures should escape, what ripples would carry forth to the future? They might wreak havoc upon the world of the ancients, and their despair would leave an indelible mark upon history's pages. That despair would only feed the terrible beasts that arose during the final days. The first final days already had a drastic effect on the eons that followed. If the scars it left were made even deeper, then we risk losing our present entirely. Nod. Hey, I think the shoes that they're wearing are the Scion boots that Chitaru makes for you in, like, Heavensward. I've just noticed. I recognize the silver platform shoes because I put them in my Astrologian glamour, so that the silver accent matched the silver accent on the big hat. Whatever the cost, our connection with the future of Elpis must be preserved. I know I have asked much of you already, but can I count on you to continue your work in Pandaemonium? Nod. I'm gonna cover everything except Nier, so don't worry. Your tireless efforts are much appreciated. Everything except Nier and Basia and Eureka and never mind. Your tireless efforts are much appreciated. If there's aught we can do to ease your burden, you need only say the word. Speaking of which, might you return the crystal into our keeping? While we cannot accompany you into the past, perhaps something can be gained by researching it further. Nod. Here you go. Ah, it shines just as splendidly as the day we met. I guess you mean when you met the crystal, because we met like today. We shall begin work right away, but I cannot promise any meaningful results for some time. And as matters in Elpis seem to be in a similar state, I must ask that you rest. But before that, allow me to make an introduction. As our research moves into its critical stage, I found it only suitable to recruit another assistant. Mylene is an expert in armaments from throughout history, be they from the far-flung past or made in the most modern forges. Should you find aught of interest in your adventures, bring it here and she will be glad to offer her services. We know researchers in numerous fields that would love to get their hands on artifacts from bygone eras, and would give you goods in return that should aid you in trials ahead. Furthermore, if you ever wish to peruse the records of the events you've reported here, Nemjiji has been taking faithful and thorough notes. She's at your complete disposal. Curtsy. Smile and nod. I sense that we've embarked upon something monumental, something that will dwarf all else I've accomplished in my many years of research. I can think of no greater honor nor reassurance than to have your capable assistance in this endeavor. If there's anything to be found that will contribute to your success, we shall find it. We shall not rest until we've unlocked the mysteries of this crystal, and you will be the first to know when we do. Various hype. God, there's so many materias. Well, I didn't get an achievement yet. I guess I got an achievement for when I fought Dracula. Presumably this... Dark matter? Okay. Presumably that is what should wait for next time. Pandaemonium relic exchange. Yeah, this is an alternate relic type of deal. So this is 580, so this is way outdated, but maybe some of it looks cool, I don't know. Well, it's not my aesthetic, but, you know. Ah, the invisible headpiece. Wait, are these... Those are the tiniest wristbands. Well, alright then. Have exactly the contours of Sucro's bangs. I mean, you could barely see it. Okay, so you are the savage one. Allow me to thank you personally for your contribution to our research. Your stories of the ancients' creations have planted the seeds of a great many theories, and I cannot wait for them to flourish. So, I will wait to learn about dark matter, I think. I think Nosferatu's wings, the red parts of Nosferatu give off light a little bit. Or at least have a little bit of bloom to them. Cool bat. So, yeah, this was my bonus birthday stream that was exactly the same as every other stream that I do of Final Fantasy XIV, basically. Hooray. We checked up on the rabbits and the robots. We got through the first tier of Pandaemonium. Thank you for the happy birthday. I guess according to the schedule, what is today? Today's Thursday. So tomorrow there would normally be a stream anyway. But I really should just change my schedule to trying for 3+ days a week. The timing of when I stream is consistent, but the days of the week are not consistent. And I can't really do much about it. So I should honestly just make the schedule more vague, probably, unless there are any problems with that anyone can think of. If anyone can think of any problems with that, please do mention it. But yeah, if there is a stream tomorrow, I guess that'll be Pandaemonium Part 2. However much that is. If it was only one raid tier, it'd be a pretty short stream, but that's fine too if it happens. But what did my funny retainers give me? Eternal Shade. Can't believe a Blethwizza is going to mock me forever. I can't believe a Blethwizza is throwing shade. Just kidding, she would never do that. A Blethwizza doesn't speak in my headcanon. Yeah, as I said, ideally I'd be able to have my other healers at 90 and figure out which one I want, but if the next stream is tomorrow, I certainly won't be doing that. The only way I could gain that many levels in less than a day is with real money. Or hacking. Even if I was fine, I would like to figure out which healer I like the most and practice them and feel more confident, is all. I'm not gonna say that I did badly. I was confused a lot, and that had nothing to do with my role or my specific job. But, you know, I just want to figure out what I want to play as more. I suppose it's also possible for another chill leveling up stream at some point. People seem to be fine with the one where I leveled up Machinist a little bit. I would like to level up Astrologian more. But yeah, these are the shoes that they were wearing. You can see that they're the same. The Scion Adventurers boots. All right, everyone, who's ready to get their fortune told? Let's draw a card. It's the bull. There's going to be trees in your future. I don't know how to tell a fortune with these. Happy trees, everyone. Yay. Trees are pretty good. They make oxygen real. Anyway, on that note, please observe Sucro's giant hat clipping through everything, because it is too powerful to contain. I think that delivering buffs on time is something I can sort of figure out in practice. And also I happen to know that Astrologian is in line for reworks, so part of me is very curious to know. I have not actually experienced any sort of major rework that tackled parts of a job that I was familiar with. Like, I was Paladin, but like the Paladin rework was mostly the magic stuff, and that was when I was earlier in the levels, so I didn't have that part of Paladin yet, really. So it wasn't much of a change. I was never a summoner person, so I didn't experience the summoner changes that happened 7 times or whatever. It's a matter of curiosity, perhaps. But anyway, thank you all for watching. This has been Final Fantasy XIV. We did some stuff that I already outlined. If you're interested in the usual links and all that, borealrobin.card with 2rs.co. I would appreciate it if you would consider things like following, subscribing, or supporting me on moneygivingwebsite, which is not a real place. None of that is necessary, of course, and your viewership is also a great way to support. I appreciate all of you being here and hanging out. And anyway, I hope all of you have a good rest of your day or night. I will see you at the next stream. Good night, everyone.